Lionel Cat. Shout out to my boy Music Vibe, and most importantly, Mars Film. Shout out to y'all for tapping in. This video is how 50 Cent destroyed his enemies and stayed alive. Now, me personally, I rock with 50 Cent. You know, he definitely speaks a lot about business, you know, and you could tell he definitely has a business mindset and is all about living up to what he said, get rich or die trying. We ain't gonna talk too much. Without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
This is one of the most dangerous people in hip-hop, Suge Knight, who many were afraid of in the 90s. But there are people out there who never feared Suge. One of them is 50 Cent. When 50 Cent was filming his legendary music video for In the Club, out of nowhere, Suge Knight showed up.
Suge came in with 30 Mexicans, like you said, which is weird.
Okay, it was like, Suge's outside, Suge's outside. Everybody like, it was running, dropping shit, like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
50 was like, what's up, man? What you want to do?
Bang him.
And Suge looked at him, and he took a puff of his cigar, and he blew it out, and he did like this, and he left.
Eminem came back with the vest. Yeah, Eminem was outside with it. Shout out to Eminem. Dre wasn't outside, 50 wasn't outside, but Eminem was outside.
50 trolled Suge Knight, who is now behind bars, for how much effort he spent to get his artist out of prison. Suge once helped his artist who got into trouble. One time he paid $1 million bail for Snoop.
Snoop Dogg,
In the documentary, he told how he helped Snoop and Dre, saying that they were his people. 50 trolled him, saying, "Fat Boy looked out for guys on the low." In general, let's go in order of events, starting with the beef with Ja Rule, as 50 spoke about how it all began in his book, From Pieces to Weight. A friend of mine robbed Ja Rule. That's how the beef originally started. My man robbed him for a chain, and then this guy named Brown came and got the chain back for Ja. Later, Ja saw me in a club with the kid who robbed him. I went over to say what's up to Ja, and he acted like he had a problem with me. But I'm not the one who robbed him. Though Ja later confirmed the robbery did happen, he denies he ever saw 50 with the man who robbed him.
And so 50 used that as his end to have something to say about me. You feel what I'm saying?
Ja also claimed 50 was pissed about Murder Inc.'s founder Irv Gotti passing on the opportunity to sign 50 to the label before his first album was released. In general, everything led up to 50 Cent's releasing his diss track, Life's on the Line.
Murder, I don't believe you, murder, I don't believe you.
In 2000, they got into a fight at an Atlanta nightclub where they were both scheduled to perform. Apparently, 50 Cent had Ja Rule's chain, which was returned in exchange for 2 watches. Sometime later, Ja Rule found 50 Cent's whereabouts and flew into the New York studio where 50 was stabbed. At the beginning, 50 did not realize that he was stabbed. And when he returned home, Curtis's grandma told him to go to the hospital. 50 Cent then released the controversial track, Ghetto Quran. The track's lyrics mention several characters 50 remembers from his formative years in Queens, including Kenneth McGriff and his nephew, Gerald Prince Miller, of the 80s drug game Supreme team.
Supreme was the businessman and Prince was the killer. Remember, he used to push the bulletproof BM.
Reportedly, Kenneth McGriff, aka Supreme, one of New York's top drug dealers, ordered Daryl Baum to kill 50 Cent. But all came to it, Supreme was on Ja's side. In total, Daryl shot him 9 times, but 50 managed to survive.
Many men wish death upon me, Lord.
A few weeks later, Daryl was murdered, and Supreme received a life sentence in 2007. Now, back to Ja Rule. After 50 Cent was able to write music again, he released the first hit of his career, Wanksta.
I'll tell you personally, the Murder Inc., the people that you see like Irv, Ja.
Oh, this is the viral clip. I really don't like that guy.
The people that are involved in the business aspect are bitches. Like, these niggas don't got no hood. That's the whole wankster thing.
Say you a gangster, but you never stop nothing. You said you a wankster, and you need to stop.
It is believed that the track is aimed at Ja Rule specifically. Fifth said that it's a diss toward any fake gangster. He then added that Ja fits the bill. 50 Cent's credibility was put on the line after Irv Gotti alleged that 50 had signed an order of protection against him and Ja Rule. 50 denied it, and it didn't really affect his image. Turns out that the order was issued, however, but was issued on behalf of Fifth by the police. After such accusations, 50 Cent released The Future Is Now with G-Unit.
So now he's funding the police. Now they're not only protecting him, they're a part of his gang. He's funding it. He's paying the guys that are around him now, and he's giving them good bread. I've heard the numbers.
Who I need all the protection from, nigga? Your little, oh man, you motherfucker.
And then, in the debut album Get Rich or Die Tryin', in the song Back Down, the following diss lines were aimed at Murder Inc. and Ja, respectively.
Maybe I'm so disrespectful because to me you're
this is crazy. Yo, 50 Cent need to make another game or something. Cause I remember this on 50 Cent Bulletproof the Game. That was legendary talents for PS2. I still got it in my closet right now.
niggas from your hood, you have no history.
You like Gyro too, right?
No.
Yeah, you do.
No.
You be dancing to that.
I'm not dancing to that.
You be liking that. That's not hip hop. That's R&B.
If you think that I'm dancing to that, we can meet in the club tonight and you see what I'm dancing.
After that, Ja Rule released a diss track targeting 50 Cent, in which he also had a reference to Eminem, where he offended Marshall's daughter.
Your mother's a crackhead and Kim is a
I remember this.
So what's Ellie gonna be when she grows up?
The reason for this was that Ja was mad at M for signing a contract with 50. After that, Eminem intervened in the beef, where him and 50 trolled their enemy, saying that he would never become the next Tupac.
Ride with ya. Na, 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 na.
Ja Rule's diss track, called Guess Who Shot Ya, is also worth highlighting.
You'll die slow but calm. Recognize my face so there won't be no mistakes.
And so, in 2013, Ja Rule admitted defeat in the beef he had with 50 Cent. And here he explains why that happened.
For us, as far as we didn't have a label as a home anymore. You understand? There was a lot of things that were falling apart for us. It was easy for him to get people to turn on.
Bulldoze.
Right. Murder Inc. is in the building. They're not going to perform this year. M's not going to perform. So now as the fans look, they're like, yo, this dude is really crushing them. Like, they don't even show up at the awards no more.
After the beef they had together, Ja Rule's career began to go downhill. But the guys continued to tease each other from time to time. The most legendary act of trolling that hit Ja was when 50 made fun of Ja Rule's concert ticket prices and said he bought 200 tickets to his show.
First 4 rows in his concert?
Yeah, they was like on Groupon for $15. It wasn't a big deal.
So I said it was only going for $15.
You gotta still perform like everybody's here.
Honestly, I think with Ja Rule's situation, he can't hate on 50 Cent and be like, oh, well, he did it. Because, like, if you got mad at him for signing him, it's kind of the same thing if you think about it.
It's gonna take more than a bullet in the heart.
Why would The Game and Jimmy Henchman be in one segment, you may ask? Because, as Tony Yayo says it, it was because of Jimmy that the feud between The Game and 50 Cent started.
Yep. I'll tell you, the poison in that was Jimmy Henchman.
Do you think that was
Jimmy Henchman never liked Chris Lighty.
Oh.
He never liked Chris Lighty.
For those that don't know who Chris Lighty is, he is 50's former manager who died in 2012. And Jimmy Henchman was The Game's manager who knew Supreme. Another interesting fact about Jimmy is that he single-handedly planned the robbery of Tupac in '94. So he was very dangerous for 50. But one thing at a time. And we begin with The Game. 50 Cent, along with Dr. Dre, helped him become popular. And they succeeded in it when the guys released How We Do in November of 2004.
This is
How We Do.
Nobody do it like we do it, so short.
During the album,
wasn't that song I think it was one of the games of Midnight Club or something like that.
Promo work, and before its release, The Game went on radio shows around the country and dissed major artists, like the likes of Jay-Z and Memphis Bleek. He also behaved inappropriately on a radio show in North Carolina. This upset the radio host so much that he refused to play The Game's music. 50 Cent was the one who's supposed to be in charge of The Game's actions and resolve any drama with artists that The Game was involved in. He also had to call the host of the radio show to apologize to him and convince him to play the music of his emotional friend in order for him to get publicity in North Carolina. At the beginning, these things didn't bother 50 Cent, but he was indeed disappointed that The Game was being reckless. 50 Cent helped The Game produce the album, helped him with his songwriting skills, helped him come up with the choruses, and even contributed a few songs like Hate It or Love It and This Is How We Do.
I looked at Fifth like, you gonna give this nigga this shit? This is how we do all that shit, Hate It or Love It? I'm looking at him like,
these are hits.
Motherfucker, give me that shit.
The guys were preparing their albums, The
shit.
Documentary by The Game and St. Valentine's Day Massacre by 50 Cent. However, The Game demanded that his album be released before 50 Cent's album. And so, the latter album had to be moved from February 14th to the 5th of March and was simply renamed The Massacre. Naturally, 50 didn't like this, and the rapper was pretty upset about it. Also, 50 Cent didn't like that The Game was hanging out with those with whom 50 Cent had conflicts. Additionally, The Game didn't give 50 Cent any credit when he was asked about who helped him become who he is today.
Who are some of the key people, man, that put you where you are right now?
Man, Dr. Dre, man.
Right.
That's it.
Then the music video for Hate It or Love It was released.
Yo, with this song, I feel like 50 Cent walked on The Game on this song, and that's what a lot of people think too. Let me know what y'all think.
In the music video, you can see The Game and 50 Cent sitting in a lowrider. But 50 Cent is sitting in the back seat away from The Game, and he certainly doesn't look happy at all in the video. I hate to break the news, but those guys had to shoot their parts for that music video separately, says the song's co-producer Dre, one half of the Miami-based rap production duo Cool and Dre. They couldn't bear to be in the same room together. Everything went downhill because people started noticing differences between them, and 50 Cent decided to kick The Game out of G-Unit.
People's names for shock value. He says things he doesn't mean. He says a lot of things and take it back. He says, he had issues with Joe Buttons. Then he runs into him in a club and they're taking pictures. He had issues with Memphis Bleak. Then he ran into Memphis Bleak in Miami. It was no problem. You know what I mean? See, this is the truth. You know what I mean? The facts. This is the same facts that I talked about on Piggy Bank. See, I'm not a fake person. I'm gonna tell you exactly what it is. You see what I'm saying? And for me, he has a lot of inconsistencies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's incredible that he would come back and forget how much I've done for him.
What you gonna do, baby?
I'm gonna be easy and I'm gonna make good music, homie.
That's all.
And you know what else I'm gonna do, big dog?
What you gonna do?
I'm gonna keep it 100% hood and still cross over.
A week later, 50 Cent was interviewed on Hot 97. The Game found out about this and decided to visit his former friend. 50 found out that The Game was somewhere nearby, dropped everything, and went to meet up with him. A fight broke out here, in which the guy from The Game's inner circle got hit by a bullet in his leg. Sometime later, they decided to reconcile on the anniversary of Biggie's death. But as you can imagine, it didn't end there. The Game continued to speak in unflattering terms about his former friend, and in turn, 50 Cent called him a stripper and that he couldn't even really rap. After that, at one of the concerts, The Game decided to attack G-Unit, and he even threw out a chain with the label's logo on it.
50 Cent, man, fuck 50 Cent. G-Unit, and I'm going. In New York, after all that, I still love y'all, man.
Then The Game released a mixtape where we see The Game holding 50's head while wearing a G-U-Not hoodie. And there's a track called 300 Bars and Runnin', which runs for 15 minutes, where the rapper doesn't only take it out on 50, but on the entirety of G-Unit.
When it's beef, we eat, we win, baloney, we pop, we sell records, but a G.
After such a long diss, there were no responses from 50 Cent, except that he added to the music video.
Me personally, I don't think it's not because I rock with 50 Cent, but I think The Game music is not all that to me, and that's just me personally. I feel like he tries too hard. Now, I'll give credit where it's due. A good body of work he had when it comes to music is the joint where he had it was Church on there, and it was a couple other songs. I just know it was that I think that was a tape or something like that he put out with Trey Songz was on there and all that. That was good, but other songs, I don't really know too much.
Of Piggy Bank, a character is based on of The Game. nicknamed Mr. Potato, and the song itself was recorded before the game's diss.
Sales, I'm rich as shine popping off his mouth from a cell.
In general, this entire time, the game was releasing disses about 50 Cent.
I made you, Mr. Potato Head, I made you.
3 years after you got tatted by cartoon, the beef is over, G-Unit gon' fall apart.
And he even made a documentary where he's looking for him.
Yeah, you need a drink? Huh? Yeah, the Formula 50 one. In the store right there, in the market area. And they got the Formula 50 one? Oh, yeah. They got everything in there. 50? Yeah. 50 cents? Yeah.
Then, 50 got some free time and released a diss track on the game. And it was released under the name G-Unit Radio 17, Best in the Business. In it, it was mentioned that the game was a fake gangster, and he never was one, which was confirmed by the game's brother. He was more into sports, but not the gangster life. Listen to how 50 hilariously parodied the game's voice.
Be calling me crazy, I might be just maybe. I'm gangster, I'm crippin', I move to, I'm trippin'.
Further, and even funnier, the release of G-Unit Radio Part 21, Hate It or Love It Verse 1 was released, where, on the cover, we see the game as a stripper. In this mixtape, 50 pokes fun at the game's emotional instability.
Help me, man. They crying for help, baby.
These jokes surfaced because, in one of the shows in 2001, the game's girlfriend complained about how emotionally unstable he is and how he often cried because of his emotions. She also mentioned that he tries to portray himself as macho, but he is far from it.
If he's not buying your love, what else does he do when you disagree about something?
All he do is smother me, or he cries like a baby. That's all he cries like a baby.
I'm like, nah, why you put that out
The game
there?
offered to make amends and return everything to the way it was, but he never received a response. This beef wasn't just between the two of them, as 50's friends had issues with the game as well. So one day, Tony Yayo and Lodi Mac spotted Jimmy Hinchman's 14-year-old son walking to work to his dad,
and punched him.
And the guys decided to relay a few words to the game's manager. As a result, Lodi Mac slapped the teenager and threatened him with a gun. Naturally, he told his dad about this incident, and as a result, both were arrested. Mac was given 2 years in prison, and Tony received only 10 days of community service. As a result, Mac was killed, and Yayo experienced multiple assassination attempts. Also, Tony's mother's house was shot at with a gun with a silencer, and there was also an assassination attempt on 50 Cent. For example, one attempt was while 50 Cent and Akon filmed the music video for I'll Still Kill.
But I guess they didn't know how to handle a weapon or something like that. It's in the paperwork. And the gun went off in the car. So as the gun went off in the car, I guess it jammed and they backed out of what they wanted to do.
He also wanted to blow up the car that 50 would be in. However, 50 knew about this plan and left a dead rat on his doorstep, followed by mysterious phone calls to his house. So Jimmy decided to stop trying to kill 50 Cent. After that, the beef between the game and 50 Cent died down. And then the game said that the beef was over and that 50 was a normal guy and apologized. However, it is clear that 50 Cent didn't believe his words, since the game constantly changed his opinion about 50. Sometimes he was an enemy, and sometimes he was not. Therefore, 50 Cent released the tracks So Disrespectful and Love, Hate, Love.
Gang, you'll never be my equal. Your homies shoot dogs, my niggas shoot people. They love me, then hate me, then love me again. Bitch, I don't pretend, pussy, I ain't your friend.
The game never stopped attempting to return things to the way they were, but he did not succeed. As 50 said, the beef would last forever, especially after the death of Lodi Mac. In 2016, he captioned a post with a joint picture of Lloyd Banks and the game. "What do you see when you look at this picture?" he wrote. "I see confusion. I'm not sure if it was just me. I'm a Cancer. Shit don't get old with me. I never asked for trouble, but I really don't have a problem with it. I'm different. The question isn't how I feel about it, but how does Lodi Mac feel about it? Some shit is just better off left alone." After that, the guys saw each other a couple of times, but without conflicts. Once, the game bought 50 Cent vodka for $7,000, where 50 later said that the drink was well worth it. The guys keep trolling each other from time to time. For example, the game said that 50 Cent can't rap, so he dissed Eminem. However, This didn't turn into something serious as it used to before. But Jimmy received a life sentence, and 50 Cent reacted to this in his unique style.
I'm not the murderer here. The murderer in this whole situation is home. All he had to do was point the finger
What did Jimmy Henchman receive a life sentence for though, if y'all know?
at me, and he went home, and I'm in jail for life when I never hired him to kill anyone. So, you know,
OG Jimmy the Rat.
I'm glad that it was overturned. I'm happy. It's hopefully, you know.
The next video that I recommend you watch is about
I
the story
reacted
of
to
a
that,
friendship between.
man. Once again, shout out to my boy Music Vibe for always rocking with me. I'm always rock with you. With that being said, I appreciate y'all for all the love and support. Love is love, and I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.